Welcome to You Be the Doc, Activity 1. In this activity, you will gather information about your patient from the patient description. Then you will determine what's important, analyze the information to see if some of it is related, and finally decide what other steps need to be taken to determine what is the matter with your patient. To begin, you need to put your name on your paper, put today's date. I'll just write today since it depends on when you're watching this video, and put your section, which is the same as your block letter. Again, you write the appropriate block letter. The first step of this activity is to highlight the important information about your patient. Remember that when you highlight, you only highlight the important terms. You don't highlight everything. So let's go through this. The patient reports feeling well most of the time. So we're going to highlight feeling well most of the time. But he also reports odd recurring events. For instance, one day after a short swim, he became so tired that he could hardly move. In that sentence, short swim is going to be important. Could hardly move. And so tired. He became short of breath and complained of pain in his joints and muscles, especially in his arms and legs. We want to highlight short of breath, pain in joints, muscles, arms, legs. Oh, maybe especially as well. He felt unusually weak and required bed rest lasting a few weeks. These symptoms occurred repeatedly during his youth. He also had frequent fevers and infections. Let's see if you can figure out what's important here. Did you choose unusually weak? Bed rest lasting a few weeks? Imagine having to rest in bed after a short swim. Frequent fevers, infections. All of these are important terms. Now, as I was going through this and as I review that first paragraph, the idea of a short swim causing him to be tired and in pain, that makes me think that exercise is important. So I'm going to put something off to the side here called a margin note and put exercise induced, which means caused by exercise, and a question mark. This whole experience may be something that is caused by exercise for this individual. Of course, that's not what we would expect, so there is some underlying cause for this. The other problem, though, is the fevers and infections, and those are not necessarily related to the exercise, so that's something I have to keep in mind. When we get down to the questions, it says, what symptoms do you find concerning? Highlight them on your hard copy, make margin notes as needed. That's what I just did for paragraph 1. You need to do the same thing for paragraph 2 in order to complete that part. After that, you're going to answer question number 2, are the patient's various symptoms related to one another? If so, how? And if not, explain why. In that case, because there's not much space for you to write, what I'm going to do is go back and number my highlights. So, feeling well most of the time, that's not really a symptom. So I'm going to choose that he became so tired as number 1, could hardly move, number 2, short of breath, 3, pain in his joints and muscles, 4, bed rest, 5, frequent fevers, 6, and infections, 7. You can continue the numbering in the paragraph that you're going to highlight. At that point, what I need to do is to see, are some of them related? The fact that he becomes short of breath and then he has pain in his joints and muscles, makes me think that he's not getting enough oxygen to his muscles, and therefore he's feeling pain. So I think that 3 and 4 are related. And the reason, not enough oxygen to muscles. Now, you're going to want to take a look at the rest of the highlights and see if some of the others are related to each other and add them to your list. After that, I want you to think about what sort of things would you want to know more about this patient in order to determine just what's wrong with him. That'll do it for activity 1. Good luck.